Hello, this is John Kvale, and this is your Q4, yes, the last quarter newsletter of 2022. My, it has gone fast. For those of you newbies, what I do is I like to go in and give a little bit more granularity to each of the articles that I have written, all bad grammar and all. Thankfully, my editor is very good, and she cleans up a lot of my mistakes. But I always say this, for those, we do this in kind of a video audio podcast, so that if you're driving down the road and you're listening to this, keep your hands on the wheel and be safe. All right, we're going to jump into this. I tend to have these go too long, and so I'm going to try and keep it a little bit shorter. So, in the essence of time for everyone. All right, so the first and main article is this. Those of you that are in listen-only mode, I am going across the economy slowdown, reminder of time. Let's have some patience. And basically what I wanted to get across to everyone, it's a couple of, and by the way, as we scroll over this, there's Peter Zeihan. I'm gonna hit his article right after that, so I'm not moving you folks back and forth in the newsletter. So those of you that are in listen-only mode, I'm going to page 2, and I'm going back to the main article. The main thing that I want everybody to know is it's been a while since we've been through a normal slowdown. Historically, slowdowns average over a year, 14 months, 18 months, give or take. And what we've experienced over the past decade is we had a 2020 real sharp slowdown. Then we had a 2018 short slowdown. And the gas was turned back on. Well, that's not what's happening this time. And so I would like everybody to recall that it just takes longer. Those of you that are in listen-only mode, I'm going over the chart, and this is about recessions and slowdowns. And now I'm going to go to the next page, which a bear market is defined in the most generic way of a 20% drawdown. Well, we've had that, so we're in a bear market. Depending on what index, even greater. Generally, bear markets last for 20 months. Sometimes they last longer, sometimes they last shorter, but they generally are longer than 90 days or 3 months or 4 months or something like that. And that's the main purpose that I wanted everybody to. I've got a lot of graphics from JP Morgan and that I'm scrolling over, but I just wanted everybody have patience. We're prepared for this. We've been ready for this. We've been talking about this since December of 2020, but it's going to take a while for it to clear through the system. All right. Well, it looks like my laptop went on. Hopefully it's on battery mode and you're still getting a good vision, because it got a little bit darker here. All right, back. Remember I mentioned Peter Zeihan? A couple of interesting points that I thought. Number one, he did some predictions in March of this year about the Russian conflict, and they came to just delightful fruition. So I wanted to go back to him. But really, I wanted to have two takeaways. Those of you that are in listen-only mode, I'm scrolling over his picture, and I wanted to get down to a couple of things from him that I found the most important. The Russian invasion was a demographically needed. The Russian population, as those of you that are in listen-only mode, I'm going over the bullet part about that. The demographics of Russia were such that they either did this now or they weren't going to be able to. Found that very interesting. And those of you that are in listen-only mode, I'm going to near the end of the article. At the end, Peter says something to the effect that the Federal Reserve is, and this has long been known, they've wanted to have higher rates, and they're going to use this possible imminent slowdown, recession, whatever we want to call it, to get these rates back up. And I thought that was very interesting thought. Okay, I want to go into Ben Hunt. Those of you that are in listen-only mode, I'm going to the next article. One main thing, this guy's great. I've run across him about 7 times now. Couple of virtual, trying to get my picture off of the picture. For those of you that are in listen-only mode, the video is covering the picture in the newsletter. Long story short, Ben Hunt is developing and working on a program that will help identify narratives, and think of narratives as persuasion. And that's all he wants to do is have us understand when we may be persuading or being persuaded by an article, and present party included. I have to everything I try and do as generic as possible, but we all have our own biases that come into this, and that's what he's saying. And I really like this point that Grant Williams said. He said, why am I reading this and why am I reading it now? This isn't a fact check. This isn't a whole everything's bad. This is really just keep your eye on maybe accidentally the reporter had a narrative, and just make sure that you're aware of that. That's all he's wanting us to do. And I thought that was really it. And part of the reason that I wanted us to do this is because near the end of a slowdown is when the headlines get the worst. So we may have some bad narratives accidentally because we're just fatigued. And I started the newsletter with the slowdown. Are we tired yet? Well, it still has a way to go. My editor did a great shortened version of the Back to Basics here, which was a fun little course that we did. I've also put a website page on our blog so that anybody that wants to can go into all the links. And then this is a reprint of the 401k post that garnered a lot of attention. Now's a good time to do your run rates for your 401k. And lastly, but not least, we have an all-new venue, and that is the Dallas Museum of Art. It is Saturday, November 19th, the Saturday before the weekend before Thanksgiving. Tongue-tied here. It's going to be a 2 to 3 meet and greet, and we'll have some light food, and then everybody has a run of the museum until 5 o'clock. So it's an all-new venue. We've never done that. We've wanted to do it, and we made it happen. So that's it. I went a little long, but it's hard to go too short on the newsletter because there's just a lot of material. Now this was what I mentioned. I started the whole newsletter. Are you tired yet of the slowing economy? Pretty sure we all are. Just let's have some patience on this. We will get through it. Have a great day. Talk to you at the turn of the calendar. Bye.